climate impacts are expected in the US. Yes, they're in some grain-growing areas and so forth, but the scale is not comparable, right? Water resources out west, all of those kinds of things that we've heard are still not as extreme as they are in the developing countries. But that doesn't mean that a few years down the road they're not going to be more extreme. And I think what that question raises is the extent to which the globalization of our agricultural economy has made us dependent on food supplies from other sources that will be threatened more immediately by climate change, and the food safety issue is a much broader issue because climate is only part of that. I suppose what I would piggyback on that point to say is, what is it going to take to get Americans to see the connection between their own security and climate change and global issues? And when you talk about 9/11, and I agree with you, I think that's a very insightful analysis, that it threw us back maybe 50 years on whatever path or progress we were making towards a more enlightened view of the world. But now when we think about our security, I think, and this paradigm shift, we have to ask ourselves pretty basic questions. Are we safer by militarizing, or are we safer by multilateralizing? What is the source of the threat to our country internationally? And is the money better spent on bomber systems and counterinsurgency and repression and authoritarian government, or is it better spent on cooperation and being more immediately responsive to the needs that people in developing countries are experiencing?